I am Arun Kumar Sharma from Submastery, and I welcome you in the very first lesson of this transition course, which is clause number 4.1, Understanding the Organization and its Context. So first of all, let us try to read the clause which is there in IATF 16949 2016. This color is blue, which indicates that this is 100% a new requirement with respect to ISO TS 16949-2009. So let us try to understand. The organization shall determine external and internal issues that are relevant to its purpose and its strategic direction and that affects its ability to achieve intended result of its quality management system. So it is telling us that we need to identify external and internal issues which are relevant to its organization quality management system. The organization shall monitor and review information about these external and internal issues. So you can see that this new clause has been added because IATF wanted that before we improve a system, before we build a system, we should know that what are the external and internal issues, and our quality management system should try to focus on those issues. So here what we need to do, we need to find out external and internal issues. So how exactly we are going to do that, we will see in the next slides. Obviously this is a new requirement and nowhere it is mentioned documented process. Documented process is not mandatory, and when it comes to documented information, because it was written that monitor and review information, which means yes, we need to have some sort of documented information, and one way is to find out the by making a list of internal and external issues, and one very popular way is of doing this is SWOT analysis. Yes, SWOT, SWOT analysis. This is not the only way, there are other ways to do it, but as far as I know, this is the one of the best way. So let us try to understand how exactly we can find out internal and external issues by doing SWOT analysis. Let us try to find out what is SWOT. Yes, strength and weakness can be internal issues for an organization, and opportunities and threat can be an external issues. Let us take one case study so that we can understand this SWOT analysis of one organization in a better way. Let's say one organization have identified these strengths, and once they have identified this strength, they have also identified the control in place. Let's take the example of weakness, because this is something which I believe is important. Say this organization identified that responsibilities and authorities deployment is not effective at staff level, and number 2, the preventive maintenance is not done timely, and number 3, rejection analysis and countermeasure are not effective, number 4, the shop floor visualization is poor, shop floor visualization is not good. Now once these weakness has been identified, we need to have control or action plan in place, because this is something which we actually want to improve. This is something where we want our system, quality management system, to focus upon. What would be the advantage of identifying these weakness? Yes, as we identify these weakness, our management can focus on these weakness. Our management can focus on the action plan, how exactly we can take care of this weakness, and at the same time during external audits, even by certification body, they will focus upon this. So what exactly is focused can be improved. I think this is an initiative by IATF wherein they want that organization should accept their own weakness and should work upon their own weakness. Like in this case, we need to identify the control or action plan with respect to each weakness, and we need to have some sort of action plan about this weakness. I think this is the first time which IATF has done this, and this is very much appreciated by everyone, because now people won't hide from their own weakness. Now they need to write it down, and then they also need to have action plan on this weakness. So this is these are internal issues, strength and weakness. So let's come to external issues. External issue can be identified through opportunities and threat. So what are opportunities? Opportunities are something good which can be converted into a good. Like for example, in this case, for this company, their opportunity was that number one, adding new customer, foreign customers are entering their market, which is pushing demand. Number two, in this country, automotive industry is growing at 12% per annum, which is good for this automotive industry. And also single tax, GST, goods and service tax introduction for simplification of business and compliances. So these are some opportunities which can exactly help them, which are not internal, which are external in nature, which can help them, help the organization to grow. The external issues can be political, can be social, or can be economical, can be market condition, can be competitors. So external issues are something which are not directly, you can say, control within the organization, but they also have an impact, and that's the reason we should also find out external issues. So in the similar way as we have identified these opportunities, we need to identify the threat. For this case, number one, die casting parts getting converted into plastic parts, which is a threat for this die casting manufacturer. And number two, cutthroat competition. There is too much competition in pricing, so they identified that they need to have VAVE projects, value addition, value engineering projects in place, so that they can counter the threat from the competitors. Yeah, do you understand? So in this way, our organization need to identify its internal and external issues, and then need to have an action plan or some control so that they can mitigate that risk. So what are the activities which you need to do? Number one, you need to create a cross-functional team which consists of department head and top management. You can also include engineers and other people in this team, but yes, you need to identify those issues which are relevant to organization quality management system. Step 2 is brainstorm and identify internal and external issues for your organization. Step 3, identify relevant control. How exactly you are going to control, in which part of your quality management system you are going to address those issues, and if there is some lacking in your quality management system, then they need to be addressed. And step 4 is review and monitor control or action plan at a regular interval. Now what could be the frequency? The frequency could be 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, depend upon the organization to organization, but I recommend that at least these issues must be monitored on a quarterly basis, and the action plan which comes out from these issues can be monitored on a monthly basis. Okay, so you understand? So so that if you need to find out more details, you can see the text, and I have also given one editable documented information example of list of external and internal issues, and you can just go through that, and if you have any issue, you can just write a mail to me and I will reply to your mail. So, and the next lesson will be about clause number 4.2, understanding the needs and expectation of interested parties. Okay, so let us now try to understand clause number 4.2 of IATF 16949, which is 4.2, understanding the needs and expectation of interested parties. Let us try to read this clause first. Due to their effect or potential effect on the organization's ability to consistently provide product and services that meet customer and applicable statutory and regulatory requirements, the organization shall determine A, the interested parties that are relevant to the quality management system, B, the requirement of these interested parties that are relevant to the quality management system. So what exactly we need to do? It is very clear and straightforward clause. The best thing about IATF is that most of the clauses are very well written and written in a very simple language, which was not the case with the ISO TS 16949 2009. There you need some kind of expert for interpretation, but here it's pretty easy language. So here what does IATF 4.2 clause tells you? It tells you that you need to identify interested parties first of all which are relevant to QMS, and second is that you need to identify requirement of these interested parties, and we will just understand what are these interested parties. Okay, at the same time the organization shall monitor and review information, which means they need some sort of documented evidence for this about these interested parties and their relevant requirement. Obviously this is a new requirement and we do not require documented process, but yes, when it comes to documented information we need to have our documented information, because then only we can review and monitor this information. The best example could be making needs and expectations of interested parties. We'll see this example in detail in the resource section as well. But before that, what are interested parties? What do you understand by interested parties? Yes, interested parties which are directly or indirectly affected by organization activities, like for example there could be so many interested parties, like for example stakeholders, promoters, end user, dealers, customers, employees, suppliers, government, neighbors, society, villagers in which company is located. So these all could be interested parties. And why it is telling us to identify the needs and expectations of interested parties? Because if we don't identify the needs and expectation, we don't address their needs and expectation, they can impact our quality management system. For example, what does supplier want? Supplier wants timely payments. So if we don't do timely payments, if they are a small supplier, they might not be able to give you regular supplies, and which can stop your supplies, which can again result into a customer dissatisfaction and stoppage of line. So it is important that we should identify needs and expectation of these interested parties. Yes, I'll discuss this, because so how exactly you can do that, how exactly you can ensure that you give timely payments, you have creditors review on weekly basis, or other needs and expectation of supplier could be timely communication of schedule. A supplier needs your schedule should be communicated to them on timely basis, and you have control in place in your quality management system where before 25th of every month the next month schedule is given. So this is how you identify needs and expectation of interested parties. One example I have given, that of suppliers. Let's see the example of employees. Obviously what they want is by the way, how you can address these needs and expectation, how you can identify these needs and expectation is a very popular question which is being asked by IATF auditors. So there could be various ways, like it could be based on past experience, but I believe it is always better that if you could do some survey, like for example for employees survey can be done, for suppliers survey can be done, for customers it is in their quality supplier quality manuals, and also for them survey can be done. So wherever possible, wherever you can show some documented evidence must be shown. Okay, so let's see of employees. What are the needs and expectations? Number one, best care and practice as per regulatory framework. They need training opportunities, they need safety at workplace, they need salary as per benchmark in the industry. So there could be other needs and expectation as well, and you need to have a control and you need to monitor these progress through some responsible person. Like this is one example which I just shared. In this way I have also identified needs and expectation of other stakeholders, which you can see in the example in the resource section. So what exactly you need to do? Number one, you identify the list of interested parties that are relevant to your organization. Number two, identify relevant responsible person, because you need to identify some person who can exactly identify the needs and expectation of these interested parties. Step 3 is just identify these needs and expectations of these interested parties. It can be done based on experience, but documented evidence is always better. You can do interviews, you can do survey, And step 4 is establish control or action with respect to your quality management system, and review and monitor. Again, review and monitor frequency could be decided by your own organization. I recommend the action plan should be monitored on monthly basis, and maybe in your management review meeting, which if scheduled on quarterly basis or 6-month basis, this can be reviewed this should be a part of management review as well. So review them at regular interval. So this is all about clause number 4.2, which is understanding the needs and expectations of interested parties. You can see more details in the text, and you can also see some example documented information for your own use and amendment. If you have any doubt, you just write a mail to me and I will respond, and